In this Olympics year, this is my search. A search for a fine line. A fine line that differentiates between a successful sportsperson and a failed sportsperson. By a failed sportsperson, I mean someone who had to give up sports halfway through his career due to various reasons, and the reasons behind that.
One of the most important hurdles that stand in the way for the sportsmen is the fear of injuries. Many promising young athletes had to drop their sports ambitions halfway through forever due to injuries. An injury can occur anytime and any stage of the sporting career. This could sideline them temporarily or in some cases permanently.
I started my shooting when I was 15 and studying 10th standard. I started my shooting at schools, and soon I started participating in inter-school state and inter-school national competitions. After my schooling, I got admitted in Delhi University, and I was 3-year consecutive champion of Delhi University. At open level, I started playing with UP team, and I participated in UP state championships and got many medals over there. I qualified for the pre-nationals and got a silver medal in pre-nationals. And I played in nationals and participated from UP team in nationals. I also got selected for the Indian shooting squad. But unfortunately, while preparing for the squad trials in 2010, I met with a backbone injury. While I was doing a workout session in gym, I slipped and fell upon when I was carrying the weights, and that weights fell upon me and I got a back injury. I could not stand on my feet for the next 6 months. I was on complete bed rest. And even now, I am carrying the remains of that injury. I could not continue my shooting practice as I cannot stand for a long duration of time. I cannot stand continuously. So I had to give up my shooting.
Injuries faced by athletes are of different types, and its impact varies from sport to sport. Only a sports medicine expert can tell us about the nature of these injuries and its impact.
There are injuries which are common to many sports, and there are certain other injuries which are specific to certain sports. If we talk about athletics, that is where there is not much of a contact between the people who participate in that. So there, the injuries are produced normally within the body. For example, sprains, knee joint sprain, ankle joint sprain. Then if you're a thrower, you can have problem with the shoulder, that is shoulder sprain. And if you're a runner, you can get shin splint, stress fractures. So it's all related to the action, your mobility of the body, what actually the body or the muscles or your bones and ligaments does in that particular sports. Accordingly, that particular organ can get injured. But when you talk about other ball games, say football, volleyball, basketball and all, there not only these type of injuries which are produced within the body, since they are all contact games, especially basketball, football, there could be injuries outside these injuries. For example, a volleyballer who keeps on smashing the ball, he can injuries of the palm, and when he jumps, he can come down, fall, twist his ankle or his knee. In the case of football, there are a lot of injuries which can happen. Not only the sprains and strains, especially like runners, they can have hamstring injuries, they can have calf injuries. At the same time, they can sometimes have head injuries also, collision injuries. When they go for heading, if two people go for heading the ball, there could be a collision with the head, there are serious injuries happen. Then the rehabilitation. There are certain injuries which are serious, some are very trivial injuries. If you get a sprain of the ankle or a knee, well, if the internal organs are not damaged much, you can be rehabilitated within a couple of weeks. But if you got your Achilles tendon, that is the tendon which comes from the calf muscle to your ankle, if it ruptures, it's a very serious injury, and very often the athletes or the sports person will have to retire from their sports, because even after surgery, the rehabilitation will not be that much successful. So there are sports careers which are terminated by serious injuries.
It is not just the injuries that the sportsmen encounter in their quest for a sporting career. One of the first challenges that a sportsperson faces is financial support. Most of the sports aspirants come from not so privileged families, which cannot afford to fund their kids in.
करने के लिए अगर बच्चा स्ट्रेंथ कर रहा है, कोई स्ट्रेंथ एक्सरसाइज कर रहा है, उसको डाइट नहीं मिल रही है तो स्ट्रेंथ में और उसकी परफॉर्मेंस में इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं आएगी। मेरा भी कुछ ऐसे था इम्प्रूवमेंट, वो फिर बायोलॉजिकल अंदर था, फिजियोलॉजिकल सिस्टम मेरे साथ देते थे, इस वजह से परफॉर्मेंस नहीं करती थी। मगर अगर डाइट मिलती तो अच्छा और होता। जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था, पुअर बैकग्राउंड फैमिली, स्टार्ट किया 5 घंटा प्रैक्टिस करते थे इवनिंग, 3 घंटा मॉर्निंग करते थे, डाइट उस हिसाब से नहीं मिलता। अगर 80% अगर हम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं तो 10% या 5% डाइट मिलते हैं। किसी तरह का फूडिंग सिस्टम हमें प्रोवाइड नहीं कराती थी गवर्नमेंट। किसी तरह का अगर हॉस्टल वगैरह होता तो अच्छा होता, खाना पीना नहीं मिलता था।
Even if you can make the financial requirements meet, what makes the parents reluctant to allow their kids is the question of job security. Only a select few gets a secured career and a secure job. An average sportsman career is estimates at 10 to 15 years. With these limited years, he has to make earnings for him and his family for the rest of his life.
Initially, when the students choose sports as a career, it depends on their parents and financial conditions, so that they can continuously practice their game. Otherwise, it's very difficult for them to continue their practice, because most of the parents discourage kids to practice, because they think that there is no outcome through sports, mainly because it's very hard to get job, even government jobs. Otherwise, you study, you can at least go for a private jobs.
On the other hand, sports authority sources say that there are many schemes to support upcoming stars financially, and with the best training and medical facilities which even the sportsmen and coaches are not yet aware of.
There are a number of schemes the Sports Authority has introduced for training sports persons. They are NSTC, National Sports Talent Contest Scheme, STC, State Training Centers, State Sports Centers, then SAG, Special Area Games, then Center of Excellence, and so on. And of which the children at the age of 8 to 14 are selected from the schools, and they will study and train in the same school, for which the Sports Authority gives grant to the schools for creating the infrastructure, and also provide coaches for training, and also a stipend is given to the children. And sports training centers, there are around 70 centers at the moment throughout India, in which we select children on the basis of the talent. There is a talent contest scheme. There is a system of selection, and children who fulfills the criteria has been admitted. Another scheme is Special Area Games, which is established mainly in hill areas, sea shores, because it is meant for certain games which has a special nature. For example, archery. There are people in the tribal belts, they have got a tendency to, or they have got they have a system in the sense it is a way of life for them. So we select children from these areas and train them in special area games. So this is one of the very successful scheme of the Sports Authority of India, and people like Limbaram and people have come from through this scheme. So they have performed extremely well. Even today, most of the artists have come from this scheme. And another scheme is Center of Excellence. This is meant for sports persons who have achieved at a level. They have participated state level competitions or participated in the national teams, and they have been selected and trained specifically to represent the country in the international. So every child who has got a talent and has the tendency to train or tendency to do sports as a profession, there is a lot of possibilities, lot of avenues available in our country.
Sporting achievements bring glory to the country. Sportsmen are the country's wealth. So it is largely the responsibility of the country to support them and help them to bloom their sporting dream and make them come true by supporting them with the best training and medical facilities that can keep them in par with the top athletes in the world.